Other team yesterday, the Jacksonville Jaguars, with nothing to play for, who actually opened the day thinking they'd have been better served losing the game. As it turned out, they still have the #1 pick in the draft. They knock the Colts out in what has got to be one of the worst regular season losses we've seen any team take in quite a long time.
Jacksonville decided that they weren't just going to beat the Indianapolis Colts, they were going to embarrass them.
I'm a sucker for pain. I got the squad tatted on me from my neck to my ankles. The pressure from the man got us all in rebellion. We gon' go to war, yeah, without failure. Do it for the fam, dog. 10 toes down, dog. Love and the loyalty, that's what we stand for. Alienated by society. All this pressure give me anxiety. Walk slow through the fire. Like who gon' try us? Feeling the world go against us, so we put the world on our shoulders. I torture you, take my hand through the flame. I torture you, I'm a slave to your games. I wanna chain you up, I wanna tie you down.
No rap with it. We gotta get on like that, man. Yeah, let's do this.
I've been at it with my homies, it don't matter, you don't know me. I've been rolling with my team, we the illest on the scene. I've been riding around the city with my squad. I've been riding around the city with my squad. We just posted getting crazy, living like this is so amazing. Hold up, take a step back when we roll up, cause I know what. We've been loyal, we've been fan, we the ones you're trusting. Won't hesitate to go straight to your head like a concussion. I know I've been busting, no discussion for my family. No hesitation through my scope, I see my enemy like, what's up? Hold up, we finna reload up. Yes, I reload up, I know what up, I know what up.
I torture you, take my hand through the flame. I torture you.
What's good, LFL? Season 1 has officially started. Week 1 has almost come to a finish. I think we got one game left, Broncos and the Seahawks. Revenge game for Drew Lock or Gino, whoever the fuck's playing. I don't remember. But one game left. I think it's been a good week 1 of season 1. People who've played scrims, we're all expecting this. A lot of interceptions. I think we've thrown over 60 as a league, maybe even more now, which is understandable for most of them, but not for a lot of them. So hopefully it cleans up. Hopefully people don't get pissed and leave. It's just the game right now. Take a breath. It will get better. I recommend looking up route trees, route concepts to beat certain coverages and really attacking the receivers on their breaks and attacking those linebackers. Linebackers don't get those same animations as the corners and the safeties. Try to hit them on the spots that they can attack it. I know that's easier said than done, but that's my only advice for anybody that wants it. But that being said, we're going to get into the AFC South. I wanted to start a little bit of a hype video for the Colts. Hopefully the Colts in real life come out and smack the Texans in the mouth. I won't say I smacked Micah in the mouth with the correlation, but hopefully they come out and just dominate them and kind of represent what I did. I can't click the right screen. With that being said, I'm going to get into me and Micah's game. Me and him played each other, so there's only going to be 3 games I'm going over. I'm going to go over our game first. To be honest, I snowballed the game from the very beginning. First drive, went down and scored. Had a broken coverage play that Mo Alie-Cox was open on the sideline, walked it in for a touchdown. His drive, he drives down very well, runs the ball very, very well on me. Was not expecting him to run so easily, but he did, and that shows with him having 100 yards gain and rushing. But had a pick 6 off of which is going to be shown in a little bit as well, but had a pick 6 thrown by Davis Mills. Those throw out of sack animations are rough. I still haven't had any clarification where he was throwing it, but either way I think it was picked off. But it is unlucky, does suck. But getting into the stats, I mean, like I said, I didn't really win this game. I think Micah just kind of gave it to me with not being able to take care of the ball, which, again, is understandable. His team's not very good, and my defense is very, very good. Matt Ryan played very well. Didn't really get to open the game up. only had 13 attempts, 11 completions. He felt good. He made the throws and didn't really have any errant passes. And I took 2 sacks, and honestly, I took those just as coverage sacks. I didn't want to force anything, so I took the sacks. Jonathan Taylor felt very good. He didn't have as many yards as I thought he would, but Buddy is good. Very fast, very shifty. Back really did a good job on fixing him, because before he felt like Derrick Henry, to where he was sluggish, slow, and he's a shifty back. I mean, he has a little bit of power in his game, but he's known from blowing away from people, and he doesn't run people over. He just breaks those first little arm tackles. He's not a power back though. But Micah ran the ball very well. Had 2 running backs that did decent. Had good yards per carry for the most part. The receiving game, again, neither of us really passed very well, but it was consistent for me. And he had some guys that got open, just Davis Mills couldn't hit them. But that's our game. Really not much to talk about there. Just kind of an all-out Colts defensive blowout. Getting into the next game, which was Cody versus Lezus. I thought Lezus played pretty well in the first half. Made it competitive for the most part. Was one of the few guys that didn't throw a pick. But I think he just kind of, once he got down 2 scores, just kind of gave the game away, which isn't something that you would ideally want to see. I mean, I get it. But 13 picks, or I'm sorry, 13 completions or attempts when you're down 2 scores, you got to pass the ball a little bit more. But I thought he played very well in the first half. Made the game a little bit competitive. Ran the ball okay. It's hard to run against that team. Had some really good plays, but I just think he kind of took the foot off the pedal and just kind of accepted defeat instead of looking like he was throwing a lot of picks, which is, some people would say, is not ideal, but it's what happened. But he played well. I'm excited to play him next week. Getting into this game, I think the score doesn't really show how competitive this game was, or non-competitive this game was. Not to shoot Mac in the foot. Mac just was not on his A game. He had a lot of yards, but he could just not turn. He just turned the ball over. I mean, he had 4 turnovers, and it seemed like every time he'd get a drive going on, his nerves got to him. I don't know what it was, and he'd throw a pick. He made a lot of reads that you wouldn't think he would make. So hopefully he turns it up, fixes his struggles with throwing it at defenders. I think he'll be fine. He kind of figured out what he needs to do and just feed this guy. Hopefully he works on feeding other guys, because he's going to get him fined really quick, running 25 times and only once with other people, which is not ideal. I understand he was losing, so he probably didn't really care. But that's a quick way to get fined as a run-heavy team. But, again, he didn't really do anything to win the game, and Crazy just kind of accepted the picks and took care of the ball, kind of like me and Micah's game. Mac drove the ball a little bit more and had a little bit more success getting the ball down the field, and then would throw his pick. But, I mean, if you look at it, he scored 14 points in the 4th quarter just to kind of make the score look a little bit better. This game was not close, though, but I think Mac's fine. I'm excited to play him later. I think he's going to clean it up and provide a good challenge in this division. I didn't really have a lot of clips. Mac said he was going to send some to me, but did not, which I don't blame him or Lezus. It's kind of hard to want clips shown of losses, but I am going to pull up these clips that I do have from me and Micah's game. Some of them are mine, most of them are mine, and some of them are Micah's as well that I thought he had success with. Let me just get those all ready. I apologize. Okay, so let me go over here. So this is a good pass by Matt Ryan. I think this is what's going to be nice about him, is stood up in the pocket, didn't really care about the pressure, and took that first down. I had Alex Pierce as well on that, which probably was a safer ball, but I didn't think I had time with Cashman coming off the edge. But again, we'll watch it again real quick. Skip a little head. I love these little motion plays. And hit him right over the top. Again, probably not the safest pass, but it worked. And you got to take those windows in this game. You can't you can't be scared to pass those because the catching on both sides is OP. So it doesn't matter if you're a receiver or a defender, you're going to catch the ball. Here is the first touchdown of the game. This is all in the first drive. After that catch to Mo Alley Cox, he also had roughing the passer, which put me here. I ran the ball twice. He had a little bit of a broken coverage there on the sideline. Hit Mo for an easy touchdown. He kind of whiffed on the user there. We all do it. But this was a little bit of a scary pass. He just kept running to the sideline, and I was like, oh, he's going to step out of bounds. But watching it over again, it does clean up, and it does turn into a pretty good route. So that's a play that I'm going to look forward to using a lot against people that like to run cover 2, cover 3, because it kind of sneaks in under there. Okay, after that touchdown, Micah had, again, he stuck true to the run. Ran the ball very well in this first drive, which I did not expect. Like I said earlier, dude ran the ball very well. Stayed true to it. Didn't have trouble with it at all. And here is a pick 6. This kind of was the one I was talking about. Unluckily gets hit, and then it just goes right to my guy. If he was throwing that drag, I was going to pick it off with Kenny Moore. But if he was throwing to that corner route, it could have been something that was one-on-one, maybe not picked, but it would have had a play on the ball from both players. And then from here, the game just kind of got snowballed. Couldn't really do anything else. Micah's next drive, drives down, ran the ball again very well. I could not stop his run on his first 2 drives. Got the ball down here. He hit these curl routes, I think 2 or 3 times in the game for some of his best passes, which, again, he threw 6 picks, but I think those were a lot of my defense making him throw them instead of him just making absolutely terrible reads for the most part. A couple of them weren't great, I'll be honest, but I do think he's going to clean it up and win next week. And then this was probably what snowballed the entire game. Drives all the way down, has a great drive, gets it to 1st and 10, beats me with this. I go into man, was not expecting him to call play action, which I don't know why. And with me, with the terrible user, should have broke strafe, just a little bit of rust, and ran with that, so that's not open. But Davis Mills just sails the pass out of bounds, and we don't have to worry about it. So that was his one opportunity to score a touchdown, and Davis Mills kind of sold it, and that was what was unlucky for the rest of the game for him. Rest of the drives go by. We punted a couple times, back to back. Both of us staying true to the run, so we just kept getting stuffed on 3rd and short. And then here to end the second half, Taylor just does what Jonathan Taylor does. Like I said, he's got that getaway speed, which is so nice. And this is probably the most realistic Jonathan Taylor run I've seen in my scrims and also season game so far. He just does this. If you go watch his highlights, that's what he does. He just blows past people. His speed is insane. So I'm excited to use him. Hopefully to see more runs like that. Very realistic run for him. And then not to beat a dead horse, there wasn't many things to highlight once we got to this point in the game, but Micah didn't score after I scored that touchdown with Jonathan Taylor. I think I got the ball back and either just ran it or kneed out to get to this. Then his first drive, he went 4 and out. And I got the ball back and drove down and scored. So, kind of snowballed the game, and there's nothing really else to show. Final score was 33-3. Really 31-3. You got a weird safety at the end. But takeaways is this team is very loaded on the defensive side. I think I have a good chance to compete with really any of these top teams with how this team is built. And I'm excited to play some of these users that have had really good weeks. So that is week 1 AFC South recap. I know some people don't care about these videos, and that's fine. They're not made for you. I'm doing this for myself. I think it's fun to do stuff like this. We didn't really have this last cycle. There's very rare content creation, so it's cool to see Best and Wiggy doing their podcast, which is more of a league-wide thing. I don't know if CP is going to keep doing stuff like he did, but it was cool to see his video as well. Hopefully some other people get interested in even just recording clips or going on stream like Slacker does and watching another LFL game. It just makes the league more enjoyable, takes away from a lot of the BS and bullshit that goes on. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this if you do watch. If not, again, like I said, it's cool. But that was week 1 AFC South recap. Probably going to do it every 2 to 3 sims. So the next one probably will either be week 3 or week 4. And I might do week 3 and do 2 weeks at once. So just to kind of have a little bit more volume of clips. And it might be shorter. But I appreciate you guys watching. Peace out.